Hey everyone, this is Toni from CHK Minis, and today I'm going to show you how to use the new Real Heavy Metal sets from Ionic Smart Colors. These sets are made up of 3 colors: a base, which represents the main metallic tone of the piece being painted, a metallic wash, which is much thinner paint that flows over the surface and settles into recesses and around details, creating depth and definition, and finally, a highlight, which is the lightest color and is used to define edges and paint the areas most exposed to light. The paint can be applied in order to quickly paint metallics without the need for mixing or guessing which colors to use. They are also versatile and can be applied in a different order or used with varying techniques. Regardless of how they are applied, each set provides an easy and effective way to create strong contrast and well-defined metal surfaces and detail on your favorite subjects. For this video, I primed the miniature in white to make painting easier. I began by painting most of the armor with weathered copper base. As you can see, the consistency of Real Heavy Metal allows for easy application, creating a solid and uniform base color with just a single coat. For this step, I do not thin the paint. I use it straight from the bottle without overloading the brush. Real Heavy Metal paints feature exceptionally strong covering power. For the corresponding metallic wash for this base color, I used the weathered copper metallic wash and applied it over all the areas painted in the previous step. There was no need to thin the wash, as it was already the perfect consistency. It flowed easily into the recesses and around the details, adding shading and definition to each armor panel. Once the wash had dried, I used the final color in the set, Weathered Copper Highlight, to edge highlight the copper armored panels. I focused this color along the sharp edges and corners, while also painting larger flat surfaces that would be most exposed to direct light, such as the tops of the shoulder and knee pads. Even though metallic paints naturally reflect light and create their own sheen, applying this lighter highlight tone allows the critical volume and depth of the figure to read more clearly. Using a metallic wash and highlight creates stronger contrast than relying purely on ambient light. The combination of all 3 paints adds depth, and I really like the result, especially considering how quickly I was able to obtain an excellent finish. The same base, wash, highlight process was applied to the red parts of the armor. This scheme was inspired by Iron Man, and I used the Scarlet Red set to paint the helmet, boots, and hammerhead. I started with a solid base coat on all of the red elements. Once the base had dried, I applied Scarlet Red wash over all the red elements. I used the brush to guide the pigment where I wanted it, avoiding pooling on flat surfaces and gently working the wash into any recesses. On the red areas, instead of moving directly to the highlight, I decided to spend a little more time by reapplying the base color. Washes usually darken and tint the surface where they are applied, so by touching up the selected areas with the base color, I can restore the original tone. Although this method takes just a bit more time, it creates smoother, more refined gradients from shadow to highlight. Finally, I applied the Scarlet Red highlights to add the final definition and highlight along the edges and areas exposed to direct light. I then switched to the shimmering green set, which contrasts nicely with the red. I applied this color to paint details on the armor such as the helmet lenses, the runes on the figure's shoulder pads, and any gems. Once again, I followed the simple 3-step SMART system, applying a base coat, the corresponding metallic wash, and finally the highlights with the corresponding highlight color included. The burnished metal set was then used on any iron or steel elements, such as selected areas of armor and weaponry. This color is quite dark, so I decided to highlight it using the bright silver base paint from the bright silver set. Combining different sets from the Real Heavy Metal range allows us to create variations in both tone and shade. To further demonstrate the range's versatility, I painted these elements without using a metallic wash, instead relying on layering to create contrast. I then added a final highlight with bright silver highlight, a very light metallic paint that's perfect for edge highlighting. Combining tones from different sets is another example of the versatility of the Real Heavy Metal range. Finally, any remaining metallic elements were painted using Astral Violet. I skipped the base coat and used only Astral Violet metallic wash. Real heavy metal metallic washes, when applied directly over white, work similarly to contrast or intense inks. They tint the surface with the desired color while settling into recesses and details, providing shading and a solid base to build on. For faster results, or when speed painting, a single coat of metallic wash over white can create a visually striking finish in just one step. As a finishing touch, I added a glow effect to the ruin and lower portion of the Dwarf's hammer. I began by carefully applying thinned white paint to fill the recessed rune. I then carefully airbrushed enchanted blue onto the white ruin in the surrounding area, creating a subtle OSL glow effect. I reinforced this by applying a lighter blue to the center, resulting in a quick and visually striking power weapon effect. I then returned to the purple areas, lightly dry brushing them with Astral Violet highlight. This demonstrates just how a metallic wash and a dry brush of the corresponding highlight can quickly and easily create a visually appealing result. The processes I've shown are both easy and effective, making them perfect for quickly painting armies. I hope this video demonstrates the versatility of real heavy metal paints, and how they can be used in different ways to achieve fantastic results that help your miniatures stand out on the table. They may not guarantee you a win, that's another story entirely, but at least your opponents will admire your paintwork. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video soon. Discover more Ionic Smart Colors content on our YouTube channel. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications